BlizzCon was ridiculously incredible, amazing. It's always fun. It's my favorite con of the year, and we're going to talk all about the stuff they announced. Typically, I usually record stuff in the hotel, but I figured why do that with the terrible audio when I can just record it when I get home. So before we even get to any of the announcements, which we will be talking about, let's go ahead and just jump into some stuff I shot on the show floor, and we'll come back and talk about my favorite thing from the event. See you guys in a bit.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
I think that was typically the thing that the crowd responded with once Overwatch was shown. I had heard a little bit of rumblings kind of leading up to the event, as I think a lot of people did, that Blizzard was going to be doing something huge that you didn't want to miss, the opening ceremony. And this was the final thing they showed. We'll get to some of the other stuff later. But let's talk about Overwatch. It's an FPS. It's the first Blizzard IP in 17 years. It looks awesome. I think a lot of people right away were immediately thinking like Team Fortress 2. I kind of see that. I mean, you can kind of see that in the art style, and obviously it's got guns, so it's a shooter, and there's like defined roles, and it's not like a DM or a deathmatch. Of course, you can't kill people in it, but it doesn't have deathmatch rules or TDM rules or anything like that. It's got different class types. You've got the tank, defender, the attacker, the support. One thing that was kind of the surprising thing from this event was just how many different characters were shown. I don't think Blizzard said this officially, but you can kind of tell, or not tell, but you would think that this is probably like the stuff from Titan, that they just were like, you know, this is a good part of what we did for however long they were working on that, 7 years or something like that, and we need to probably make a game out of this. Let's take the best part, and that's how they have as many heroes as they had in the playable demo. Yeah, they had a playable demo of this game at the con. So let's talk about everything that they showed. I got to play for about 3 hours. It was an interesting game to jump into. It's a very interesting game to, you know, show at these type of events because it's very, very team-based. And it's very large teams. So the demo that everyone was playing was 6v6. And when you're playing with, hopefully the people that played it were playing with friends. Because a lot of the times, at least in the press area, in the press room that I played in, everyone that was playing with one another had played already. I played on the second day. I played on Saturday. So there were people that were like already understanding of what was going on and what class types work best with one another, and they were just absolutely just shitting on other people, like just destroying people. And I mean, that's gonna happen obviously, but who knows how like far balanced this game is? Probably not. I think that there's still a lot of mechanics that they're gonna need to tweak. Let's just jump into that stuff. Every character that you play has like a movement based mechanic, right? For the most part, at least. That might be wrong. But the characters that I played all had a movement-based mechanic, and this was all tied to shift. So there's no sprinting in the game. You hit shift, and that uses your movement ability. For example, Reaper, who's the guy that uses the 2 guns and kind of has like, you know, the Reaper stuff. He's all dark and black and mysterious and scary and spooky. Woo! And he turns into like this dark mist, and you can see him move a little bit faster. And I think he probably goes invisible when he does it as well. Then you can use that to get behind people. There was another hero that I was playing. Her movement thing was that if you hold down jump, she actually will start to kind of hover and maybe get a little bit of flight, not too much flight. And her shift was actually a rocket launcher jump, like an old school Quake rocket launcher jump. It just shoots the ground and goes shooting up. Her default attack was using the rocket launcher. And it was actually pretty good. Every hero had like a special ability which you have to charge up from, I guess, hitting people or doing objectives or anything like that. And hers was like a rocket barrage, it seemed like. It was pretty strong. It was pretty strong. But yeah, just a lot of heroes, which I was very surprised by. And also some unique stuff, because like you can switch heroes on the fly as long as you're not in like combat. I can't just switch, but you just hit F1. You can change at any time. So in like the competitive world, you want to think about this as basically think of like basketball, right? So when a team goes to their side of the court, this is the nerd describing basketball, all right? When a team goes to the other side of the court and you see them like call for a 1 setup or a 2 setup, I don't know what they're called. Call for a 1 setup or a 2 setup or 3 setup. They all kind of like get set up properly and then you go. So competitively, I would think that's how this is going to work, right? You'll hear like a team call for, hey, let's go with the woodchuck strategy. And then everyone's going to switch to whatever classes they need for that strategy and then go. And it can be kind of cool because then the other team needs to adapt immediately, and you'll start to see a lot of these class combinations because you can all play the same class as well. Start to affect stuff, and that'll be cool. That'll be interesting. Some of the stuff that I didn't like about it, at least initially, and I still kind of have some issues with, is it felt a little slow, both in movement and gameplay. When I died, I felt like I was penalized because I wasn't able to get back to the fight fast enough and have a effect on what was going to occur. So, like that last second effort couldn't really be obtained. It was really like, oh, I died, they're going to get it now. And that kind of sucks. I feel like also the cooldowns on all the movement abilities that I was using were a tiny bit short. Most of them were around 6 to 8 seconds long, and I feel like that's something that we'll most likely see tweaked. Because it would be cool to kind of work with that and be able to use that a lot more to get to certain places. For example, Widowmaker can use her little grapple hook and get to certain places on the map that other heroes cannot. Then you can get a nice sniper advantage. It's good though. It's good though. It's super fun. It was a lot of fun playing with Dan and Waffle and Maggie. And I want to see what more they can do with the game. So Overwatch, pretty awesome announcement. You definitely should go check out the full gameplay video and the cinematic trailer, which was amazing. Definitely like Pixar level stuff. In fact, I think that's what everyone was saying that it looked like, if not better. If not better.
My life for ire.
Some of the other stuff that was announced, Legacy of the Void, of course, the final StarCraft 2 expansion. Everyone knew about it. Everyone knew it was the Protoss version of the expansion. Most people kind of expected it to be announced here. And regardless of all that, I think the cinematic trailer knocked it out of the park. The My Life for Ire stuff was awesome. And the things that they're actually putting into the game should be really awesome. It seems like they're really trying to speed it up this time around. You're going to start with 12 workers now instead of the 5 or 6 or whatever it was. It's been a long time since I've played StarCraft. Bunch of new units. The Lurker's back. They made that note during the opening ceremony, so the crowd went kind of crazy. But it should be a lot of fun. Archon mode, if you played the Brood War days, you know of Team Melee, which was kind of 4 people, or I think it was 1 to 4. I think so. Controlling one single race, one single like army, one single in-game person, I guess is what is the best one. Commander. There you go. That's the word I want. Commander. So yeah, seems like it's going to be good. We'll see what else they roll out. I think they had some exhibition matches from the pros. If you want to watch that, you should definitely go check that out. And then finally, they did Hearthstone.
Everything they seem to make is salty or explode.
With Hearthstone, they announced it's going to come out very, very soon, actually starting in December. It's going to be like 120 new cards, goblins versus gnomes. They were hyping it up, you know, Horde versus Alliance, which they've done in the past, have been super serious, and in perfect Hearthstone fashion, they made very lighthearted Goblin versus Gnomes trailer. Should be a lot of fun. I know a lot of those cards seemed crazy from what everyone was tweeting. I think a lot of those cards are already out there, if not all of them, just from people taking screenshots. So definitely go check that out. But overall, I thought Blizzard just knocked it out of the park for this BlizzCon. I thought the announcement of Overwatch was probably the biggest thing, and it's going to be the most talked about thing, but everything else was just very well done. The WCS stages for StarCraft looked incredible. The Hearthstone stage looked ridiculous. Go try and find those VODs. But overall, it was an amazing BlizzCon, and I was very happy to have gone. So that was BlizzCon, and now we all get to have terrible hangovers. Yeah! See you next time. Bye-bye.